Over the last few months, I've spent a lot of time in my garden. As I sit here in my own garden, exhausted by what has been both 2020 and 5780, I'm amazed that life still grows within the chaos. The world has felt lost and at times unrecognizable. I found grounding in returning myself to the earth. I learned this practice from my grandfather, who found his garden to be a place of long-suffering return. My pap has always lived with his hands in the soil. He spent 20 years below the dirt as a coal miner, digging his hands into the deepest parts of this earth. Pap rarely cares to speak of his times that his hands live below the earth's crust. When Pap does speak on these matters, it remains short and pointed. Hands should be used to create good in life and not take it. After his shifts at the mine, he would come back to the little parcel of land he and my grandmother worked hard to purchase. They leveled it together and built the house in which they still sleep in the bed made in the early years of their marriage. Pat began to plant trees on that soil near the back of the plot, the part that butted up against railroad tracks that carried the coal from the mines into Pittsburgh. As Pap's trees flourished, he planted more. Grapes to make raisins, a garden to produce and fall canning, bushes of berries for jam. He desired for his children to know that the earth is good, to not have to see the earth he had seen, earth carved out and hollowed by human pride, corrosive anxiety, earth manipulated in ways that blackened the lungs of his friends and collapsed in on them in protest. Pap taught us all how to tend branches and fertilize the soil. As he picked ripe fruits, he would tell us what they would become. The applesauce we loved, the tomato sauce of his childhood. His garden made possible the bounty of welcome that I always found on Graham's table, a space I still know to be endlessly gracious to all who wander by. My grandfather once said that his garden was an apology for all that he took from under the earth. He could not undo that damage, but he could try and reclaim the plot within his care. Pap and Graham are now 93 and 90 and can no longer maintain all that was once there. Arthritis and age have slowed them just enough. But the gift of their table, of Pap's marinara sauce, remains a gift no one wants to relinquish. So now the four sons arrange shifts to go and work with Pap in his garden, to participate with him in helping life grow. This, to me, is an embodied act of teshuvah, repentance fostering change. This, for me, is a reminder that even in the chaos, I must return and return again.